Before we dive into this twisted tale, don't forget, hit subscribe, smash that like button, and drop a comment if you think you can solve this mystery before the cops do. Trust me, you're not gonna want to miss what's coming next. It was just past 5 in the evening on a bitter January day in Philadelphia. The streets near Temple University buzzed with the usual mix of students rushing to class, delivery bikes weaving between traffic, and the distant wail of sirens slicing through the cold winter air. Inside the Chipotle on North Broad Street, the usual hum of fryers, chatter, and clanging trays filled the restaurant. But behind the cheerful chatter and the smell of sizzling carnitas, something unimaginable was about to shatter the mundane evening into chaos. Khyon Smith-Tate, a 16-year-old with a quick smile and a basketball under his arm, slipped past the crowd and pushed open the bathroom door. No one saw him enter. No one expected what would happen next. Within moments, the metallic crack of a gunshot rang out, muffled slightly by tile and echoing strangely against the fluorescent lights. Patrons froze. Some ducked under tables. Phones were whipped out in frantic panic, and for the first time, the jovial atmosphere of the restaurant twisted into something darker. Minutes later, police and emergency personnel swarmed the scene, their flashing lights painting the brick walls in blue and red strokes. Khyon lay lifeless on the cold tile, a single gunshot wound to his chest. A spent shell casing glinted ominously nearby, a silent witness to a crime that no one could immediately explain. Officers sealed the restaurant, interviewing shaken employees, students, and diners, all of them struggling to process what had happened in what should have been a safe, familiar place. Detective Marissa Torres was among the first on the scene. She crouched beside the body, her gloved hands hovering over the evidence, eyes scanning every detail. This wasn't random. Someone knew he'd be here. Her partner, Detective Ethan Cole, nodded grimly, noting the camera feeds from the security system that would soon reveal fleeting shadows, faces partially obscured, and movement that could hold the key to unraveling the motive behind this deadly act. Outside, rumors spread like wildfire. Some whispered it was gang-related. Others feared a robbery gone wrong. Yet the evidence inside the restaurant told a different story. No signs of forced entry, no stolen wallets, no panic in the cash registers. Everything about this shooting suggested something far more personal, far more sinister. And then came the discovery that would twist the case into something nobody expected. Amid the chaos of the investigation, a nearby dumpster was pried open, and inside, police found a crumpled backpack. It belonged to Khyon, but what was inside would change the direction of the entire case. A notebook, a series of threatening messages scribbled in sharp, frantic handwriting, and a name repeated over and over. Jace. Who was Jace, and why was Khyon targeted in a place meant for safety, a public restaurant filled with strangers? Detective Torres's eyes narrowed. This was no accident. Someone had planned this. Someone had lured Khyon here, and the deeper they dug, the more dangerous the truth became. But when the detectives traced the key surveillance clip to the bathroom camera, what they saw on that footage would shock even the most hardened investigators. Detective Torres watched the footage over and over. The grainy camera revealed a shadowy figure lingering outside the bathroom moments before the gunshot. The figure's hoodie was pulled low, face obscured, but the gait, the slight limp, the hesitation at the door was almost human in its unnatural stillness. Someone had been waiting. Someone had been watching. Meanwhile, word of the shooting had rippled across the Temple University campus and the surrounding neighborhood. Parents, students, and friends flooded social media, posting their fear, outrage, and grief. Khyon Smith-Tate wasn't just another victim. He was known for his warmth, his jokes, and his talent on the basketball court. A neighborhood kid with a bright future, now gone in a single, senseless moment. But as detectives dug deeper, they realized that this wasn't senseless at all. The backpack found near the dumpster became a goldmine of information. Among the threatening notes was a page scrawled with a list of names and times. One of them matched Khyon's gym schedule. Another, Jace. That name kept surfacing. A suspect? An enemy? Or someone far closer than anyone realized? Torres's gut screamed that the answers were tangled in a web of betrayal, maybe even within Khyon's circle of friends.
Detectives reached out to Khyon's classmates, his teammates, even neighbors. Most were devastated, offering nothing but fragmented stories, a cryptic argument over text messages, whispers of threats at school, and a tense encounter with a group of teens near Broad Street the week prior. But one friend, a quiet boy named Malik, hesitated when asked about Jace. His eyes darted toward the floor, his hands shaking. "I don't know if I should say anything," he murmured. But when pressed, he whispered about a plan, about a confrontation that had gone terribly wrong. At the same time, police were tracking cell phone data. Khyon's last pings led them straight to the restaurant, but another phone, unregistered, burner style, pinged nearby just moments before the shooting. Whoever was behind this had planned it with precision, using technology to mask their presence, like a ghost threading through a crowded city. The investigation took a darker turn when a witness finally came forward. A delivery driver had seen 3 teens running from the Chipotle seconds after the shot. Their faces were partially hidden, but their clothing matched the descriptions in the backpack's notes. The detectives realized the horrifying possibility. This wasn't a robbery. It wasn't random. It was an orchestrated attack. As Torres and Cole pored over leads, a new discovery sent chills down their spines. A discarded soda bottle in an alley contained fingerprints that didn't match any of the usual suspects. When cross-checked, they belonged to someone completely unexpected, a trusted member of the school community, someone no one would ever suspect. The detectives raced to find this person, but as they approached the address, the door was ajar. Inside, the room was ransacked, papers scattered, furniture overturned, and a chilling message scrawled in red marker. "You're next if you keep digging." The threat wasn't just real, it was personal, and someone was willing to go to any lengths to keep the truth buried. Then, late that night, a phone buzzed on Torres's desk. The number was unknown. A distorted voice whispered, "Check the locker. You'll understand everything, but you won't like what you find." The detective froze, realizing that the case was no longer just about a teenager shot in a bathroom. It was about secrets, betrayal, and a twisted network of lies that had led to a single fatal act. And what they would find in that locker would tear open everything they thought they knew about Khyon, Jace, and the night that changed Philadelphia forever. Detective Torres arrived at the nondescript locker in the dimly lit storage room of a nearby abandoned community center. The padlock was intact, yet it felt like a portal to the darkness that had been quietly building around Khyon's life. Torres's hands trembled slightly as she twisted the lock open, revealing a hidden compartment inside. Inside lay a bundle of letters, a small handgun, and a worn-out notebook. The notebook contained pages of chilling messages, threats, and a detailed plan, maps of the Chipotle, schedules of employees and students, and a series of names with Khyon circled in red ink. But the most shocking discovery was the handwriting. It wasn't Jace's. It wasn't one of the obvious suspects. It was someone Khyon trusted, someone within the school community, someone nobody would have suspected. Detective Cole examined the letters and gasped. They revealed a tangled web of jealousy, revenge, and fear. Khyon had been unknowingly entangled in a conflict far bigger than a random altercation. The shooter's plan outlined in painstaking detail, revealing that the attack wasn't just about Khyon. It was about sending a message, instilling fear, and covering up secrets that had festered for months. Suddenly, a noise echoed in the abandoned building, a faint shuffle, almost imperceptible. Torres's flashlight swung toward the shadowy corner. A figure darted past, hood pulled low, footsteps pounding. Cole yelled, giving chase, but the figure vanished into the maze of broken hallways. Whoever left the locker knew the investigators were close. Back at the precinct, forensic analysis confirmed what Torres feared. The fingerprints on the gun matched an unexpected individual, the school's guidance counselor, someone trusted by students and parents alike. Motive?
obsession, anger, and the fear that Khyon had discovered a secret that could ruin everything the counselor had built. Every threat, every message, every planned confrontation had been orchestrated by someone who blended seamlessly into the fabric of everyday life. Interviews revealed the chilling truth. The counselor had manipulated Jace and his friends, using them as pawns, coercing them to lure Khyon into the trap. Khyon had walked into that bathroom thinking he was safe, unaware that the danger wasn't outside. It was someone he knew, someone he trusted implicitly. The city of Philadelphia was left in shock. The arrest made headlines, but the case didn't feel closed. The final pages of the notebook revealed one last cryptic warning addressed to anyone who digs too deep. It suggested that others were involved, shadowy figures still watching from the edges, and that Khyon's death was only one act in a larger, darker pattern. As the courtroom drama unfolded, Detective Torres couldn't shake the feeling that the worst was coming. 3 months later, another teenager was found dead, not in a bathroom this time, but near the same streets Khyon had walked daily. And beside the body, a single word was scrawled in red: learned. The city had survived the first shock, but the darkness had not ended. The lesson was clear. In the world of crime, betrayal often wears the mask of trust, and the line between friend and predator can be terrifyingly thin. If you think you understand this story, think again, because some secrets don't stay buried, and some killers never truly disappear.